Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Circle of the World podcast, where we discuss Joe Abercrombie's First Law series. I'm one of your hosts, Lord Chamberlain Jeffrey, and here are my co-hosts.
Archlector George.
And Harrison, the Adeptus Historical.
On this episode, we are going to continue our coverage of Before They Are Hanged, the second book in the original trilogy. We'll be covering questions and the wounds of the past on this episode. So let's get started. First, we should thank the audience. You guys have been so supportive and nice. Except for the whole Weirin of Bleh
I don't know what you're talking
travesty.
Never happened, Jeff. Don't worry about it.
All right, never happened.
Baez won that.
Yep, he won that fair and square.
about. I was really happy that he won that too.
Yeah, so nice. Our favorite Magi. If you guys can just remember to follow us on social media and our YouTube page. We're a little behind in uploading the episodes. Sorry about that. It's a bit of a issue there, but we'll get it up and going. And the skits are still gonna be forthcoming. George is still working on the website, right, George?
Yep. Going slowly but surely.
Yeah, and again, if you guys could just remember to either subscribe or at least rate or review this podcast, like, a few thumbs up, it'd be nice. If you give us one thumb down, one thumb up, I'll accept it. But
Wait a minute. We only accept 5-star reviews. We delete all the others. So.
All right. So, you guys have anything else before we move on?
No, we can do the meme of the week, can't we?
Yeah, we can. Also, listeners, just letting you all know, I'm really tired. So sorry. Our next segment is meme of the week. George, take it away.
So this week we've got Reddit user Miss Randir _Lily, and they've put a really, really funny one up there. It's what's stopping Colin West from being a good character? He's a truly good character, acceptable flaws, who beats the shit out of his sister for being needy.
Which is
That's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
it's a shame that he won. No offense to him, but or them, because there was someone else who was really vying for it.
Who?
No, it was this one. This person.
It was that one.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, Myth Randir.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and you actually posted a meme about us. So
yeah,
we're very honored.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. We hope you can take this meme of the week and put it on your mantle. All right.
get a painting of it.
just email us at circleoftheworld.com, and it costs $10. So
wait a minute.
And it isn't totally just a piece of paper.
I love how
it just says congrats on it, like tiny font.
And I love how George gave out the complete wrong email address. He gave the website.
Oh shit, yeah. Fuck me.
Oh man, I love it. All right, so our first chapter read through is questions. We begin this episode with the third chapter of the book, and we are in the point of view of Superior Glocta now. Remember, our boy got a promotion at the end of the last book. Glocta and Practical's Frost, Severard, and Vitari, they're about to dock at Dagoska, and Glocta is reading a letter from Archlector Salt that he was given before they embarked on this lovely journey. And basically, Salt is letting Glocta know from the get-go that
right, no fucking around.
No fucking around. There will be no help, and he better not let Dagoska fall at any and all costs. It's like, okay. So that's a lot of pressure. Right?
George, that's your favorite part of this section is all the letters, isn't it?
I love the letters between
the letters are so good.
Salt and Glocta. They're just fantastic, like little bits of context, and they're always funny as well, especially with Pacey's delivery.
Yeah, I like how Pacey he still does the voice of Salt for the letters. It's lovely.
It's great. It's
awesome. And I also like how when they're docking, Severard, he's like, I'm gonna get a drink, a stiff one or whatever. And then Glocta's like, all right, it's my turn to walk across the gangplank or whatever they call it. And he's like, I hope I don't fucking just pitch off.
It's also great.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's also great. You're right, because he's like, oh, I hope I don't die. And it's just like this whole little scene is kind of comedic because right next to him is Frost, and he's all bundled up since he's albino, and he's all bundled up, has a huge hat on. You can almost see his eyes. And you see this tiny this small crippled man who's like trying not to fall off a plank, and just bundled up like in the hot like white guy, and then
Mhm.
Vitaro's just like casually chilling. She's like,
Yo,
"You guys need to get out more."
yeah, out here, she's out here showing her stuff. She's living her best life out here, Vitari. She, which
Oh
is
yeah.
very interesting to me. Is like a redhead in the sun is like you would think, you know,
She's like a lizard though.
yeah, but no, she's just basking. George, you
And
were
like
saying
I love that. I love the image of Glockter being hoisted ashore with the cargo. Like and he's just like, ah.
that is
Like
so.
from a crane.
Yeah.
hmm and then we go. So they make it their way across the gangplank, and they're in the city, and they're greeted by Inquisitor Harker,
Haka.
Haka, Hack,
Harker.
Ha,
Harker.
Hacker.
Inquisitor Haka. If you
Mhm.
just say it like that, then it doesn't matter.
Whatever.
Inquisitor Haka.
Inquisitor, whoever the fuck, is a straight up racist piece of shit. We see right. From
He's
the
so racist. It's unbelievable. Even Glock is like, damn.
yeah, Glock is like,
He's like, I don't like the Gurkhas, but Jesus.
it's like tone it down there, Hitler. Good lord. Maybe I should take out the Hitler joke. I'll take it out.
They're just walking through the city, and anytime they're like walking through the slums, and Glock is like, clearly they're enjoying their freedom. And Inquisitor Hawk is like, yes, the locals have never had more freedom under the Union, and they're like just
So
like,
oblivious.
in the waste. It's just sad.
So fucking oblivious. And Glockton wants to take like a bit of a tour, right? And then they go to the House of Questions first, right? Like their version of the House of Questions, right? Or what would you say, like their prison? Fuck it, their interrogation cells.
Well, they go into the inner city first, though, don't they?
right, and isn't there
And it's
like
just like a complete divide, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
people in the upper city are rich and they've got all
White.
these magnificent buildings. It does actually literally say it, like we keep them away from where most of the whites live, and it's just like
what?
God damn.
bit on the nose, Joe.
However, it's supposed to. I feel like in this instance, it's supposed to be so upfront that Hawk is just unbelievably racist. He's not even trying to hide it. He's like, the natives need a firm hand. You're like, oh my god, dude.
Yeah, he refers to them as like the Browns or something, right?
He has to be so bad that it has to show that Glokta isn't being like, oh, my sympathies for them. It's more like Haka is so bad that even Glokta, who is a piece of shit, also thinks it's bad. It's not like Glokta
Yeah.
is that much less racist. I mean, he's not a big fan of the Turkish either.
Yeah, but
or
his beef with the Gurkish is because he was tortured.
yeah.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of the whole racist ideology, issues, except till like later on, right? Like Age of Madness, it kind of crops up more.
Well, it just depends because inside of
Yeah.
Midderland at the moment, there's not that many Cantic people because
Yeah.
of the war and all that. So
Right.
there isn't that much stuff. There isn't that much contrast. Whereas in Dagaska, you got the Union white people who are just like, God, we're just so much better than the blacks. It's just terrible.
Right. Yeah, and I think the only besides Harker, I think the other consistent like racist person in the original trilogy is actually Pharaoh, straight up calling everybody pinks.
Yeah, she's pretty racist.
Stupid fucking pigs.
It's like, oh, tone it down there. Tone down the intolerance, Pharaoh. Good lord.
I think the Northmen are the least racist. Of
Yeah,
everyone.
right. They're
just like, oh, whatever.
it's like as long as you can either kill somebody or cook, you're straight. So yeah, they take the tour. I like how Vitari is like peeking down like alleyways and shit. She's just always like on, That's pretty dope. And Frost is just trying to cling to the shadows.
Poor Frost.
Poor Frost. What else happens before they go to the interrogation cells? They get like he shows them like the walls, right?
Yep, shows them like the outer land walls, which Glockter says are literally the most important. Have just been neglected, and the entire lower city is just in squalor, and then he's
Right.
just protecting the inner bit, which is important to him.
Because he's a moron.
Because he's completely incompetent by the sounds of things.
And then so then they make Harrison. Do you want to add anything here?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say and it's they go over later too that the inner walls it's pointless to protect that because all the most important things are in the outer areas.
Right.
So
Right. So they get to the cells, because they need to figure out what happened to the previous superior. That was Davos, right? I believe.
Davos.
I think it's
Davos.
devoiced in the audiobooks, but
Whatever.
I think I read it that way the first time as well, to be honest.
Okay. All right. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, not to. Well, I was gonna say
Mhm.
quickly too here because they do go through the market area where the old temple was,
Mhm.
and the inner city is like, yeah, it's got the white people and stuff, but it's also like really intricate architecture,
Right.
and it's like spires and marble and granite, and now the Union's just turned it into a big market. It's kind of like it's like that Bible story.
Right. The temple you're talking
Yeah.
about, right? Mhm. Right. Yeah, because they're like, well, we don't allow them in here to pray anyway, so why not just
Yeah.
sell shit? It's like, oh boy.
It's interesting that here in Dagoska, like, it's all been usurped. Like, the god has been removed, and like it says, our own little religion, temple of making money,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
including the offices of a certain bank that we're familiar with.
That we will be familiar with.
I do
Wink,
like how
wink.
he's like on it. Like, if this was just a scene in the movie and there had not been brought up before, you would
Mhm.
not have known, like
Right.
that this is partially important. Because Hawk is like, oh, in some random bank, and Glaucus like, wait a minute, what kind of bank? What bank we talking about? And he's like, Valent and something. He's like, Valence in bulk. It's all dramatic, and he's like, those bastards.
Um. Yeah. And then what else do we? I think that's pretty much it before we get to the cells. And they're looking for. They have like Shickle.
Well, the Voost is like really, really. Before we get to the cells, sorry,
I'm gonna kill myself.
Jeff.
Yeah, it's like I need to get to the cells.
Jesus Christ! You guys, you take it over then. Fuck.
You
Go
said the
ahead.
episode was too short.
Go ahead.
It's just like the Glockter just asks exactly like where, like we've got these prisoners. Where are they? What have they said? It's just like, yeah, nothing. They're quite steady, you know. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, can I come and see them? He's like, yeah, sure. It's like that's not good, is it?
Yeah,
Nah.
he's just like he's like that's not typical procedure. That's basically he's like this is odd. This is peculiar for your post.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh no. Let's not forget that he wanted. He thought he. Well, Glockta assumes that that Harker wanted to get the position of being the superior.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
He's like, you
because
wish it
who
was.
wouldn't like?
Right. Right. Everybody's trying to get a promotion.
Everybody wants to be a head torturer.
Everybody. Um. So they go down to the cells and they see the prisoners. One of them is Shickle, the former serving girl to the former superior. And who are the other ones?
The servant.
Just some other
Just
servants,
servants.
but
Yeah.
they're dead. They are dead
They're
as
dead.
fucking dodos,
And
and have been
Shickle's,
for quite some time.
yep. And Shickle's barely holding on. And who wants to elucidate as to what happens in this scene?
I fucking love it. Like Hark is just like, I can't believe this. It's just like, well, we weren't really that interested in confessions, we just, and it's just like, you did what? You just
Yeah, he's
didn't
just
ask them questions. You just like tortured them to death for no reason. Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah. He's just shrugging his shoulders. Like, what? Isn't that what we do?
And that is, yeah, and you're right, Jeff. Like, it just go back to that. Like, this guy is so bad that even Glockter, somebody who we know who is really ruthless and will do anything to get the answers from somebody, it's just like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck are you doing?
I really like the bit there too. Whenever he walks in, and he's like, "Oh, this reminds me of his own rooms in Gurkel in Shafa. He was a prisoner." And I like this whole scene. Kind of has a certain vibe to it. That yes, he is annoyed with the lack of progress. He's annoyed that there's a 14-year-old girl who's not going to know anything anyways. Who's starving to death basically, and he's annoyed by all these things. But I think the thing that actually set him off, and the reason why he's sitting there looking at the situation, and he's like, you didn't even. He's like maybe you're the problem, Haka, and he just hits him with his cane. He doesn't even. He almost falls over. He just is like he kind of gets triggered, and I feel like that whole scene he kind of loses a little bit of his control because he's got a bit of trauma there from being locked in the cage, and then seeing somebody else in the kind of similar state that he was, especially a young girl. I think that was really subtly done to show at the end of that scene too. He's like, I need to get out of here. Like he's like, I need to get out because he's.
Mm.
I just really like how it wasn't like, oh, I had flashbacks to Gurkle. He just said, this reminds me, and that's all he said, and then everything else was shown rather than told.
Yeah,
Right.
you can see like this really really oppressive atmosphere, and like if he's got PTSD from this, which he obviously has, like that's just an instant like this is horrible, and this guy's like he kind of relates Harker to the Gurkish torturers.
Yeah.
And I think he does sort of take his anger out on him in a way, because I'd say under normal circumstances he would probably just be like sacked.
Yeah,
Mhm.
fired.
No, for sure. I agree with that. And you can see Joe's. I think he has a background in psychology, and you can see it come through here in that that subtle way. Like Harrison said, he showed it, he didn't tell it. So yeah, and then basically Harker is gonna get his just desserts, right? He's fucked.
Yep.
Yeah. Good
And
riddance.
Good riddance to that
And good
racist piece of shit.
riddance.
He's in and out. So then there's a little bit of a time jump, right? And Glokta is now meeting the ruling council. And that is comprised of Lord Governor Verms, who basically does, Harrison, you want to do that thing that you did for the Adeptus Historica?
Who is this man?
What?
What? Tell me what is going on.
Where is the Voost?
Who is this man?
Glokta? We did skip over Carla, didn't I?
No,
we'll come back to her.
We'll get to her. We have his son, Corsten Danverms, who is basically a shittier Giselle.
He's like, I'll fight you, Glokta. I'll prove my manliness.
He's like let's train. And then we have General Visbrook.
A pleasure.
He's like, oh, we served together? Oh, fuck, you're that guy. He's like, oh, shit. Who else? We have Hadish Kadia, right? Hadish?
And nobody can argue. He is the most moral human being in the entire series.
The entire fucking.
I love how he just comes out and it's just like, I fucking hate you. You're the devil. You are the bringer of death. Leave me the fuck alone.
And then whenever Glokta's kind of roasting everybody else, Hadishkadi is like, sucker.
He's like, oh, I like this. Oh, maybe he's not so bad. He's still a demon torturer, but still, fuck him. And then we have Carla Denider. I thought you guys were going to say something.
Oh, yeah. She is first introduced in this scene, and I like her presentation because from the very first moment here, she has a lot of things going on in the background. Like the way her character is written is very subtle, and you can tell that she has more going on than what she appears. You can tell she's also kind of being genuine. She's like, oh yeah, these garments are more comfortable, and I look bad in them. Like she knows how to use her words. You can tell she's probably the smartest person in the room, besides perhaps Glokta in that moment. And Glokta is kind of aware of it, but he's also still a man, and he's still like, damn, she's kind of hot. So he's a little less inclined to point a finger at her, which is he still does, but he seems a bit more reprehensive about it. Which I mean, we all would probably, because apparently Ida's hot.
Yeah, I mean, listen. We here at the Circle of the World podcast do not condone over sexualization, but Ida is a smoke show, from what we are told. From what we're told in the books. Oh man, if we haven't got canceled before, we're not gonna get canceled now. And so what Glokta does after he introduces himself to them and everything. He goes to the window and he's like, he lets them talk a little bit, and they're like, so shouldn't you like get the fuck out of here? We got a lot of stuff to do. Thanks for introducing yourself. And then he's like, oh right, yeah. And then he's like,
did I forget to mention?
Yeah, he makes his way like he's gonna walk past the table. Then he sits down, and they're like, what the fuck?
He's
and
so
he goes,
funny.
yeah, he's like, well, here's this little piece of paper. Look at this. And they're all like, wow. Oh man.
And everybody kind of gets, and the whole time,
Mhm.
the Lord Governor is like,
He's like, what?
Who is this man?
What, you looking at something?
yeah, I was just gonna look at the lines because I just love lines. Keep going. Just how everybody is like how they all react to it.
Yeah, they just, they're all confused and they're like, what the fuck is this? And then I think Dan Ida reads it first, the King's Writ, where he basically has full powers. Supersedes even the Lord Governor. And then Verms is reading it, Visbrook, and they're like, this can't be. This is bullshit. And
Who
and
is this fellow?
then-
What is going on here?
Where's the boost?
Where's the boost?
Mm-hmm.
And we also kind of realize here that this ruling council, one of them is probably the ones, or multiple of them, are the ones that got rid of
The boost.
Devoost in the first place. So
Right.
he's looking at each and every one of them like, who's reacting badly to this? Who's reacting adapting to it and things like that? Who's the smart people? Who's the stupid people?
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of get his sort of read on them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think we should remind the listeners that the Voos was according to Salt at the end of the last book, that he was close to uncovering like a conspiracy to turn Dagaska over to the Gurkish.
Right.
So that's the whole
That's
deal.
why it's so vital that he figures out who did it, because obviously there's a little bit of tension there.
Oh, for sure. And so then he tells them to continue the meeting. Like he says, General, as you were saying, something about the walls, and that's the end of the chapter. What do you guys rate that?
Harrison?
I'm gonna rate it a 7 out of 9. I
Ooh.
really enjoyed it. I don't think it's like one of the top chapters in the series, but I think it's above average. It introduces what 1, 2, 3, 4, like what 6, 7 different characters, and they all feel very distinct, and they all seem to you can see how they have their own motivations and personalities, and that's seen through the eyes of Glock. I think that's done just very well. And I also just the interactions between all the characters in this chapter I think is it's only the start of these good interactions, but it's very good.
Okay, very good. Very good.
I definitely agree with that. I mean, I'm going to give this one an 8 because straight away the quality of the writing in Glock's chapters is just worlds apart from in the Blade itself. I think. Like the way his inner monologue works, especially with everything that's going on around him, it's so quick and snappy, and there's so much of it.
Yeah,
that it's incredible. I love it. I especially love these lines where he's like, one sec. It's the bit where when he's getting off the over the gangplank and he's imagining what Vitari might put in a letter, and it's like the cripple shuffled only 3 strides into the city before he fell on his face and had to be carried the rest of the way by stretcher, squealing like a half-slaughtered pig and begging for water. I just
That's
absolutely love that line.
It's hilarious.
It's really good.
Oh, yeah. Whenever he imagines what Vitari must be writing to Salt, it's the funniest fucking thing. Didn't she say something like he fell over the ship? He drowned on the way to
I think that's his own thing, but that is definitely.
Oh! I thought she said something. I thought like he imagined her to say that. I could have sworn.
But he was just like, "Oh no, you're right though." Like, fuck.
What you
But
see?
no,
It?
no.
Oh,
Sorry, Jeff.
damn it!
Don't want to disappoint you.
You know what, George? You're right. I'm going to change my score to an 8 because you're right. It is it's just very
No,
well
you can't
written.
change your score, Harrison.
You
No,
can't change
it's
it.
too late. I'm changing it. We're allowed to change each other's minds, guys.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
No, I agree, George. I think it's a really well written chapter. You're right.
Okay. Very
Better
well
than I
done.
gave her credit for.
Jeffrey, no pressure.
Fuck you. I'm just giving it
It's
an
gonna be like
8.
4.
I'm gonna give it an 8. That's it. Don't ask me for my goddamn thoughts right now. You guys did a great job in saying all the things I was thinking that I just am too tired to say. So, good job. It's a trifecta all around. Yay!
Yay!
Woo!
Cue club music. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Anyway. Harrison, did you just who's that?
That
just
was
did
me.
that.
Sorry.
I love it. I love it. So now we're gonna move on to our character spot of the week. Who will that be, guys?
We're about to go to him, but it's got to be the Lord, the Imperial Legate. Yeah, it's like you said earlier.
What was his name again?
Salomo Narba.
I'm sorry. It's just a crap name. Like
I
I
know.
think Joe just genuinely takes the piss with some of these names.
Yeah.
He's just like, I don't know, some fucking Italian sounding shit.
I am Salomo Narba.
It sounds like a pizza in a restaurant. You go into a pizza to some fucking pizzeria and it says Solomon Narba. You go, oh yeah, that sounds like salami or something.
I thought it sounded more like a deli meat.
Yeah,
exactly.
Salomo, do you have Narba with that?
I'll take your best Salomo. Make sure it's the Narba vintage. Thank you.
Honestly, I just love the big dick energy of this man. He knows because he knows exactly who Baez is. He knows what he's capable of. He knows what kind of power he wields. He knows his history, because he probably grew up being taught who Baez was and what he could do. And despite that, he's like, "Fuck off, Baez." And
Get you gone, mages.
Yeah, but then at the end, he's like, "Oh, I might have made a mistake." You see that? He's like, "Oh."
Yeah, but like it's still a ballsy move.
Like he came strong with the big dick energy, and it kind of just limped its way out. But hey, as long as you start strong, that matters.
Well, I just like that he's basically like, listen, he's like, this is like, even though obviously, as the whole chapter we're about to read here is showing the shadow of its former self as of the Empire and how kind of sad and lost it is. This guy here, even though he may be fat and he's obviously living high off the people who are suffering, he still takes a bit of pride in the fact that he's like, yeah, I still hold my position. This city is still Kelsis, a great city or whatever, even if it's not. And he's not gonna let some old bald fucker, tell him what he's gonna do. He's going to stand his ground and do what's best for himself and his people. And I just respect that. It's not a lot of people do that in the entire series, so I like that.
Yeah. Do you hate bald people, Harrison? That's you put some emphasis on that bald fucker.
You bald fucker.
It's like you want to talk about something? You want to anyway. That's hilarious.
George, it was like, finally, Cornwallis, you bald fuck. Like, no,
you can't say that.
We could say it. We're in America.
I'm joking, bro.
He's saying it back then. Cornwallis is like, you can't say that. Way off topic there. Anyways,
it's all right. So, George, did you have anything to add about the legate, George?
Mr. Salami, I love his scene where it's like the Denethor bit in Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah,
in the film where he's just eating and it's really uncomfortable. It's like every 5 seconds he's like, and then he got a bit of an olive off there, and then he had an apricot, and then he had like a bit of fish, and it's just like, never stops. Like, what's wrong with you? You're meeting with somebody. Fuck me, man.
If this guy eats like the way Denethor ate the cherry tomato in Lord of the Rings,
that's exactly how I'm imagining it.
Jesus Christ, that was nasty. Oh man, that was weird. Yeah, Salomo, he's cool.
He cool, bro.
He cool. He alright. Oh man, I do not have it in me today. Yeah, big dick energy. That's it. All right, you guys are gonna have to carry that part for me.
Not out of 9 fingers. I mean, is that the right section?
No, not the right section. Not for that.
Jesus, this is chaotic energy today, bro.
It is. It's wild. All right, so we'll move on to our second and final chapter read through. It is The Wounds of the Past. Our next chapter read through takes us to Calcis, as we just talked about in this character spot, and it's a port city of the old empire. Our merry band, Logan, Giselle, Baez, Pharaoh, and Brother Longfoot and Quai have begun their journey. They got the fuck out of Adua after that whole little mishap, and then I guess Calcis was their first pit stop, right? And then we start this chapter from Giselle's point of view, and he's already enduring a long-winded history lesson given by her favorite magi, Baez.
I can imagine like every minute between him getting on the ship and getting to here, he's just been listening to Baez, and he's just like that ragged sigh, just like.
I don't know.
we know that side very well.
Baez is all like, Juvens and I once built a ship out of hair. You're like, what the fuck? He was like these wacky ass stories that Giselle's not even listening to. When he has bits and pieces where he's like, Juvens had sex in the brothel once, and he's like, wait, what was that?
What?
It's just here's bits and parts. Like Giselle isn't even listening. Like
It's
I love
like
this
your grandpa.
exposition part because Baez is talking about like the history of the empire and all of that, and things that have fallen and how devastated it's become and all that. And I just love this style of exposition because Giselle isn't even listening. It's like for the reader, but it's also comedic because Giselle just doesn't even care.
Yeah, he's just tuning him out.
Yeah,
And you're right. It's like it's for the reader, and honestly, it's like good stuff. It's good stuff to know. But Giselle was just like, yeah. And he's like, why is this old man fucking telling me all this? I don't care. and then Bias was like, you could learn something from Logan Ninefingers. And Giselle's like, that fucking guy.
Well, he says, quote unquote, from that ape.
Yeah. And then he does like talking up. He's like, that is the most feared man in the fucking North, I'll have you know. Dudes talk, they have nightmares over this guy. And Giselle's like, who? This guy? And then Bias is like, yep. And he also knows the very important skill of saying much less than he knows, unlike somebody. And he like looks at Giselle. He should be looking at Brother Longfoot. Fuck Harrison, that's gonna distract the shit out of me. Stop. You good, Harrison?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not even
Okay.
drinking, bro, and I'm already.
It's all right.
Goofball.
It's all right. It's all right. I'm gonna need you to take over. In a bit, like Baez, he continues with this little history lecture until a group of soldiers come to meet them, and they're here to take him to the Imperial legate, whatever. And then we switch over to Logan's POV, right, Harrison?
Yeah, he's all recovering from his wounds from having to fight
Yo, yeah.
the practicals, which I do like how it shows him recovering because in a lot of stories they're like, I'm fine now,
Right.
but he's just like in massive amounts of pain.
Still.
And he's just sitting there like reminiscing. He's like, oh yeah, I remember when he's thinking the whole time like, I remember this one time I got beat up, and this other time I got beat up.
No, that's true. Yeah, he reminisces about all those other times he was stuck like a bed, right?
Yeah, exactly. And he's like talking to Longfoot. Longfoot is like, ooh, that's not very good. he's like showing him his wounds and stuff, and Longfoot's like, that's gross. He's like, he doesn't want anything to do with it. It's awesome.
Right, he's like, smell it for me. He's like, okay. And he's like, you're sweaty.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not very often these two interact with each other really, and so this like the second time that they interact, it's like still Logan is have a serious conversation, and Longfoot is just doesn't care. He wants to talk about himself and stuff. So finally, Logan like almost relents and is like, "Is this a hard journey?" Brother Longfoot's like, "Oh yes, indeed."
Oh yeah, he's like the hardest ever. And they're like, "Oh fuck."
I mean, he talks about how it's been riven with civil strife, and this is the first time we hear about the empire really, but Juvens built the empire. It's kind of what Baez was saying previously, and then Longfoot also delivers some, which is a very clever way of showing exposition again. Instead of having it all be from Baez, they mix it up and have it from Longfoot because Longfoot is knowledgeable in this area as well.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense as well because he's been everywhere.
Yeah,
and he loves talking about it as well, and so that makes sense. It's not like some character where you get in a lot of books where this character will just suddenly turn around and say exactly what the character needs to hear at that point.
Mhm.
Like Pharaoh, like Pharaoh
Mhm.
turned around and said, "Actually,"
Mhm.
and it's kind of crazy to think about this too on a lore note that the old empire has been having nonstop civil war, pretty much been broken up and having issues
Mhm.
for at a minimum of over like 600 years nonstop. And it's
Mhm.
kind of crazy to think about how powerful they really were before. They
Mhm.
spanned the equivalent of probably the U.S. as an ancient, like a Roman type empire, and
Yeah.
they had, they were twice as big as what the actual Roman Empire was, and they took an extremely long time to get to where they are now, despite constant wars and deaths and plagues and all of
Mhm.
that stuff. And it is kind of sad as they're going through and talking about that something that was as great as the empire was in terms of humanity, civilization, I guess, progressing, how
Yeah.
low it's fallen. And I just really like the idea in any kind of story of an old
No.
empire having
Mhm.
fallen,
No, no, that
and they
I
does it
really,
very well.
yeah, I was just gonna say I appreciate you bringing that up, Harrison. That was one of my favorite things, and I really want to learn more and be more in the old empire throughout the series. Um,
Oh, I definitely agree with that. I mean,
mm,
the old empire is like one of those really so you just don't know that much about it. We know what Baez tells you, but Baez, he can be a bit full of shit
yeah.
sometimes.
Hmm.
He can have some rose colored glasses about the past.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Because he was there,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's where he spent all his time too, and he's kind of sad about all of it as well. More sad than you think someone
Yeah.
would be.
Especially when he gets to like the market and he's just like, it's not what
Yeah.
it used to be.
Yeah. He's like, oh man, this shit was packed, son.
It was popping. You should have seen the
Yeah.
nightclub.
Should have been here back in the day, bro.
You should have been there, huh?
Yeah, and it's interesting too to think about like the way it's all perceived. I'm losing myself. I lost what I was going to say.
The way
Well,
it's all perceived, and
right. Baez is,
you know,
he's he's missing the past. That's what it is. He's like, he's
he's
basically,
definitely nostalgic, isn't he?
yep, definitely
He's coming
nostalgic.
back here and he's just like, oh shit. It's not. It's just like when you go to that place when you're a kid, and shit's always better when you're a kid. But
Always.
imagine being like 600, 700,000 years old and going
Mhm.
back to somewhere where you went when you were like 50 and the world was still new,
Yeah.
and it's just like not the same.
Yeah. So
It,
It's
Baez,
such a
it
sad, poor Baez.
yeah, poor Baez. Poor Baez.
poor Baez. And a lot of people compare also as a side note, the Empire is lots of times compared to like the way it's set up or like the
Mhm.
terrain and stuff. A lot of people say, "Oh yeah, it's very similar to like America. It's like the far countries, like the old West and all that." When we get to that point,
Mhm.
but I always have seen the old empire as a whole more akin to like China. Um,
Oh,
if
interesting.
China had fallen, because they had a lot of warring states periods, and they had a lot of strife and stuff. But if interestingly enough, everybody in the old empire still sees themselves as part of the old empire, just like China did. Everyone was still Chinese; they're just fighting each other. And Styria is kind of the same way for the same kinds of reasons. I just think it's, I think a lot of people Americanize it because of
It's
how
what they
many
Well,
know.
Americans,
westernize it.
yeah, westernize it. When really, I feel like the old empire is just more akin to China than it is anything else because of how
Yeah.
expansive it
I
was
mean,
and
it
how,
definitely rings like Roman as well, though.
Yeah, it does
yeah,
because
it
they wear
does.
don't they wear like togas and like the way they have bronze armor and shit like
Yeah,
that?
and the way he's like reclining, our
Yeah,
boy Salami, he's like
salami.
reclining on his chair and eating
Yeah,
loads of food all the time. That's definitely Roman.
yeah. Olives is a straight up a
Definitely.
Mediterranean thing. That's a
I
And
definitely
then
think
all
it's
the
more
way down to the
Roman
naming
too.
conventions as well, like Calcis and Alcus,
Yeah,
mhm.
definitely like Latin inspired.
that's true. So never
But
mind, I get shot
I do.
down.
No, no, no. I was just saying we didn't mean
You're
not
wrong.
not to mean to shoot you down, but definitely like I like that. I like that like viewpoint. Like,
If they made like
Oh, definitely.
eventually made
mhm,
a series, I would love to see the old empire in more of a Chinese aesthetic. I feel like it would look. It
mhm,
just would be kind of cool to have that variety.
mhm,
But also, I think it just fits with the kind of style because of all the wars and shit that they've had, and but they're still like one nation. I don't know.
mhm.
It's just
I get
interesting.
I get that. I get that. So we come back to Baez, right? Baez and Giselle, they're meeting Salami Narbotics, whatever the fuck, Salamo Narba. And sorry guys, my brain is operating at like 20% capacity.
It's better than what I'm doing. It's all good, bro.
And he's the imperial legate who's basically like in charge of houses, right? Imagine a mayor, right? And
Governor.
It's a bit more than that, and I think legate is another one. That's definitely Roman, isn't it?
It is.
Imperial legate is very Roman, yes.
Yes.
Honestly, Harrison, sorry, yeah.
No, so here's the reason.
He's like, no, wait, here's my point.
Clarify a little bit more here. What I mean is, I like that the Roman style. Like, I get that. That's the whole point. Like, it's the ancient Roman Empire.
I'm joking,
down.
bro. I'm sorry.
But-
I'm just trying to trigger you.
No, I'm not triggered. Like, I want to clarify. Hey, you shut up. I was saying
Thank you, Pipo.
it'd be really cool to see, instead of it just being, obviously they will just probably make it a Romanesque thing if they ever create it into something else. But I think it'd be really cool to have this combination of Chinese and Roman.
Oh,
100%,
as a
100%.
combination would be so cool.
Yeah.
Instead of it just being another Roman remake, like so many things are.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry.
It's okay.
You can have your theories, George.
Harrison is straight up losing it. Holy shit! I thought I barely had it together. All right. So Salomo is concerned with the presence of Baez and company, because the political situation in the old empire is the nice way to say it is it's nuts. It's crazy.
The typical.
Yeah. There are 3 self-appointed emperors now: Goltus, Scario, and Cabrian. We don't really need to know too much about them, but it's basically a lot of turmoil, a lot of, like Harrison said, a lot of battles, for war for supremacy. What else? Oh, Baez tells Narba that he plans to travel to Shabulayan, whatever, right? Shabulian. And Narba's like, buddy, the Eos River is you can't cross it.
Yeah.
It's impassable because of all the rains, right? So they're like, fuck. He's like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, he's definitely like, fuck.
Oh,
Jeff, I'd love to see like an animation with you doing all like little reactions from all the characters.
Yeah, you do all the you do all the reactions, and I do all the ridiculous voices, like fucking Latin slop.
Capital. Yeah. No. Well, in the future we might do a video podcast, so we'll see. What else? Oh,
but you're right. Yeah, you said like you can't cross the Eos, and you're fucked basically by it. So go away.
Yeah. But before he says to go away, they bring up Zacharias, and this might be the first time Zacharias is mentioned, or a second time.
It is the second time.
Second time, right? But now we know that we're closer in proximity to Zacharias. We know that. And then Salamo tells Baez that he don't want no Magi here, and he gives him 3 days to leave. And this does not go well, obviously. This does not go over too much. Like, Baez is not a fan of this.
No, and I love his rant.
You love what?
You give me 3 days, I'll be gone in 1.
And Giselle's guts are being taught. Like, they're like, oh no, I'm about to shit myself.
I just love the way Pacey delivers those lines there. You think I give a damn? It's so good.
Yeah. Oh man, it's really good. And then he basically storms out, and Giselle's just like, okay, I'm alive. And then that's it. The chapter ends.
Yeah, because I mean, you couldn't imagine that like Giselle would not go all this time without snapping at Baez unless he witnessed what he witnessed. When Baez just made somebody explode right in front of him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nobody would ever go through that and think, right, I'm just never going to piss this guy off ever. Because he could literally just make me explode.
It's, it's interesting. We were talking about the legate here, Mr. Salami, and how he he turns it down, but he turns it down for the specific reason of he's like, if I choose a side, if I help anybody other than myself, we will burn, basically. And that's just
And he's absolutely right. He's just defended himself, isn't he?
Yeah, very pragmatic.
I mean,
and he's
he
like, I told Zachary
goes
to
about
fuck
it
off
in a bit
too.
of the wrong way.
Yeah.
I told that Zachary to fuck off as well.
George, you kind of cut out. You kind of repeat that.
I was saying, like, he doesn't really go about it the right way either, does he? Because he's just like, "Get you gone, Magus," and but it's just like, what the fuck? It's not,
Bruh.
it's not like they were even asking him for help or anything. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, we're literally just passing through. Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
That's
And yeah, it's just funny to think about the how dramatic. I like how Baez is kind of speaks in a dramatic way, and like, oh, I guess you did grow up here, so I know now. I know why.
Oh man, what did you guys think about that chapter?
Go ahead, Jeff. You go first.
Oh man, I was gonna piggyback off your opinion, so I don't have to give any.
No, it's fine.
Too bad for you. I'm just gonna give my score and call it a day. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 9. Not much happened. Some exposition, well done, obviously, but not too much happened. We didn't even get to see Pharaoh or Kwai. Yeah, gotcha. That's it, guys.
I mean, you're right. That is a big omission, isn't it? Like, people like Kwai and Ferret, just to think that they're just like not there at all.
Right.
It's just a bit strange.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna rate it a 3 out of 9.
Holy shit, man! I
I
thought I
very
was
much-
giving a low score.
No, because remember, a low score it doesn't
Right,
mean it's
right,
a bad
right.
thing. Yeah, I mean, I
Can
have to say.
I'm gonna change mine to a 3. Harrison, tell us why. Tell us why my
The
score is a
reason
3.
you fucking piggyback. The reason it's a 3 is because you're right. There's not that much other you're missing out on Kwai and Pharaoh, and you're coming off the heels of a chapter that introduced a whole bunch of new characters in creative ways. Even in the North too, there was all these characters introduced, and everybody you could see everybody. You got to interact with everybody. Here, we finally get back to this group of the main characters, really, and you don't get to see all of them. You're missing Pharaoh, you're missing Kwai, and you're like, okay. And then there's a whole bunch of exposition, which goes from this really good dialogue between higher ups and state to this kind of more, it's entertaining, and by no means is a bad chapter in any book,
Right.
but it's and I like the style, but that really all this chapter is just for expedition. Like they don't, like you even said, George, they don't even need to stop here. It just was a part of the scene to show here's some other exposition, and it's done creatively, but it's just not a very good chapter for most of the series, I think.
Exactly. I bet like Malachus and fucking Pharaoh are off just getting supplies, and they're just getting the fuck out of there. Give Giselle the quick tour, and then they get summoned, and he's like, yeah, he's just a bit of a prick, isn't he? That.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Actually,
I think I've got to go halfway between you guys. I think I'm gonna give it a 5 because it is funny. I love Giselle's fucking inner monologue. I especially love the line where he's like, "Everywhere I turn in life, there's some old dunce who wants to give me a lecture." But that's not what he actually said. And I especially love that kind of convention that Joe brings in for Giselle, especially.
Right.
Just characters reacting to something but not actually saying it, because people do that. I do that all the time.
Right.
I wanted to tell Harrison to fuck off. I didn't want to play games, but that's not what I did.
That's not true, bro.
Oh, that's hilarious. You know what I think about this chapter too is I think because going forward, every other chapter relating to this group is a big chapter because there's a lot to pack in. So maybe Joe was like, I'm gonna give him just a little taste to start off this book. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. But it's definitely more of a filler and good exposition, done much more creatively in a lot of ways than other series. But
for sure,
and I like exposition. If I didn't like exposition, it'd be like a 2 or a 1, to be honest.
Well, yeah. If you didn't like exposition, you wouldn't be the Adeptus Historical.
That's right. Exactly.
Right? You need this lore. So
what?
All right. So I think that's the end of the episode, right? No.
Wait,
No.
Hey, whoa!
We have the community interaction section.
Yes. We have
Whoa,
a
that's
community.
pretty good American accent there, George.
That was good, George. That was good.
I've occasionally watched some of your game shows, so I just got that from there.
Nice. Okay, take it away.
So for this week's poll, we did the favorite works of the maker, and this was after our big old championship round, which we won't talk about anymore.
Which by has one?
Yeah,
Bias.
which bias one. Yeah. But for this week, the options were the House of the Maker, the Shenka, the Mechanical Dragon, and Ashrank. Ashrank? I don't know.
Ashrank, yeah.
Ashrank. The various swords seen throughout the series, the Divider, and the impossible bridges going across the Aos.
I like this one. This was a good idea for one for a poll, Harrison.
Hey, thank you.
Good job.
Because you never thought about how widespread the makers' works are throughout the series, and they're just kind of like everywhere. They're just like ubiquitous.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what makes like certain. I think the House of the Maker won with 135 votes, and I think it won simply because it comes up the most, and it's such a staple for the series because we were spend so much time in Adjua, and it's just there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the Shenka only got 21 votes, which is a shame. The Shenka
Fucking
are
flatheads!
fucking flatheads. We're sorry, Jeffrey.
No, you're good, man. You're good.
The Mechanical Dragon and Ashrank got 62, which is number 3. The various swords seen throughout the series, because I think everybody liked a certain Cheese Man sword, because apparently it's just the coolest thing ever with the coolest character of all time, of course, apparently. And then the Divider got 2nd place, which I thought was fair because the Divider is very cool.
Oh, spoilers beyond this point, by the way, for our listeners.
What? Like beyond this point?
Or before this
we've
point.
already reached it.
Yeah. I mean, well, how much spoilers did you say?
I mean, none of those things appear in the books up to this point. So,
With the House of Maker.
and the Divider, but you know.
And Logan's sword.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right.
And and then the impossible bridges going over the Aos, which is one that I didn't think people would really care about, but apparently it did better than the Shenka. And if you think about it,
I think that's a really cool aesthetic.
Yeah, bridges are cool, man.
Like and it's just the way they're described as well. British people have this thing about bridges. I don't know what it is.
A good thing or a bad thing?
let's hear
A
this.
good thing. It's just like we just love bridges. We've got
Oh.
loads of bridges. You go to London, there's fucking shit tons of bridges.
Oh, okay.
We're really proud of our bridge building
Did you-
ability.
Did you know that in New Jersey, where I'm from, we have the widest, it's the widest bridge in the world?
Wow.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like
Which
15 length, the Driscoll Bridge on the Parkway. It's like,
I know what that's at.
This is good. This is good content. Everybody, look this up.
yeah, they like this. All right. So
The-
back to the community
Nah, it's an
interaction
ugly ass
segment.
bridge.
Yeah, it's ugly.
Sorry,
It
Jeff.
is ugly. It's not pretty. It's not pretty.
But it is fucking fat.
yeah, it's a fat ass bridge.
All right.
All right.
The-
Back to the community
So-
interaction segment. Back
The-
to the damn segment.
I think there needs to be some appreciation for the bridges
Uh-huh.
because whenever the bridge they're described inside the book, yeah, it's not just like it's like a San Francisco bridge or the Driscoll Bridge. They're like this is like a metal bridge that goes across a huge gorge in one bound with no like supportive struts or nothing. It's like somehow the maker was able to figure out how to make a bridge so perfect in such a perfect way that it doesn't need any supports other than itself, and it's done completely out of metal, which is very cool. I feel like because it's no concrete or nothing. It's just straight
mechanically
metal, all those big
impossible, isn't it?
bridges. Yeah, that's what
Like,
makes
there's
it
no way it could
so
actually
cool.
stand up if it was any kind of real material, because obviously the maker's some kind of magical.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a school of magic, isn't it? So, and yeah, then a lot of people were like, "What swords, though?" I'm like, I had to explain it sometimes.
Mhm.
And then, of course, there was the fact that it makes us the House of the Maker wins as well. Yeah, it's so prominent, but also, you go into it, and that is it creates it's such a unique environment in there. But I appreciate everybody who voted. This one was a lot closer. House of the Maker won by quite a bit, but right behind it was the Divider at 73 votes, and then the mechanical dragon with 62 votes, and then the swords with 52, and then the bridges with 48. So it was kind of cool to see that spread of everybody. No, I really like that weapon, or I really like this. Yeah, that was
The
more
dragon in
interesting.
Ashrank got a lot more votes than I expected.
Yeah, well,
And
it
there's
is
somebody
super fucking cool.
bringing up the point of why the fuck was the Maker building a dragon in the middle of Var country or the middle of the old empire.
Mhm.
I love it. I love that speculation. We'll have to make a video about that. By the way, go to our YouTube channel for too.
Please go to our YouTube channel. Please do.
But
Uh-huh.
yeah, that's the community interaction segment.
Yay. That's our show, everyone. We want to thank you all for listening and supporting this podcast. As you all know, this is a passion project for the three of us, and your support does mean a lot to us.
Join us next week as we cover the condition of the defenses and the thing about trust.
And make sure you like and subscribe to this podcast and follow us on social media. And we do have a website as well. It's circleoftheworld.com for all of those.
And if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or whatever app you use to listen to podcasts on. And please make sure to rate and review this podcast as it helps to spread our reach. Thank you all again for listening.
Who is this fellow? What's going on here?